here today with Ian Gibb, who has just recently come off of the 25th anniversary touring production of Les Miserables. We're here to interview him, to talk to him a little bit about a concert that he's going to be doing here in Wichita, Kansas. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm good. Well, I know you've been very busy doing the Les Mis tour, and that's taken up a really big chunk of your life for the past few years. How many years had you been doing Les Mis?
I was actually in the original touring company, so we started rehearsal in October of 2010, and I was with the company until May of 2013, so roughly 2.5 years.
And when did you leave Les Mis?
I left Les Mis on May 5th.
Where was your last city?
Oh, where were we? We were in Schenectady.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what were some of the greatest experiences that you had while you were on the road?
Well, you know, being on tour, it really gives you an opportunity to see the country, and being young and getting that opportunity was great. You know, you get to see different cities, different cultures. Also, just playing a lot of great different venues, some amazing theaters, some historical theaters like the Kennedy Center and the Fifth Avenue in Seattle, and numerous things to love about being on tour, for sure.
And you got to meet Joe Biden?
I did. We were in the National Theater in D.C. the second time around, and we'd always wanted either, you know, Obama or Joe Biden to come see the show, and so we found out actually during intermission that he had arrived, and so he came back stage, and I ran downstairs when they told us, and I got a picture with him and got to meet him. He was a fantastic guy.
So they didn't give you a heads up before the show started? You
No,
just found out
well,
at intermission?
yeah, they gave the leads a heads up because they wanted to do a photo op with him in intermission, but then he ended up not being able to make it back there. But he, you know, the Secret Service had to come and do their sweep of the theater like they usually do, and so you never know exactly who's coming. You just know that somebody important's coming, and then we got word that it was him, and so we got to take a few pictures with him, and he loved the show, and he was a great guy.
So now that Les Mis is coming to an end very soon, I've heard that the group is going to be meeting again in Las Vegas.
Yes, the tour is actually, I believe it's closing on August 11th, and so the final week the show is going to be in Vegas, and so there are a bunch of us from the original company that have left the show that are going to go up and see the final performance, and it'll be great to see everybody again, and you know, really it's going to be a great send-off for what was a great run with the show. So
tell us about the music that you've been making. You have 2 CDs.
I do. I had the opportunity, I had the great opportunity actually to get to do 2 albums while I was on tour. The first one was kind of a project that I've always wanted to do, you know, just kind of my first solo album. I mean, I'm not a songwriter by any means, so I decided to do a lot of music theater cover songs, and I, you know, produced it with my a good friend from tour, Will Curry. And naturally, what I like to do in terms of singing is a lot of more ballady love songs, and so I incorporated the theme of the album to be, you know, surrounding the different types and aspects of love. You know, when you first meet, when you're saying goodbye, just the ups and downs that come with being in relationships. And Will Curry did all the arrangements and orchestrations to it, and it turned out really well. And then a friend of mine that I went to college with, his name is Rick McKee, I approached him about doing, you know, a Christmas album because I love Christmas, and we sat down. He works in Orlando, and he does a lot of orchestrating, arranging, and composing for different companies, some notable companies, and so he produced the album and did the arrangements and orchestrations for it, and wrote 2 new songs for it, and it came out in December of last year. It's really good, and I'm really excited about it.
And that's partly why we're here.
That's exactly why we're here, yes.
Right. So tell us about the Christmas in July concert.
Well, I always figured that, you know, once you do kind of an album, you need to promote it a little bit, so I wanted to do this concert, and I thought that it would be great to, you know, do it in my hometown, and we wanted to try to incorporate, you know, something special into the concert, so we made it a fundraiser for my high school. You know, I had the pleasure of attending Wichita Collegiate School for my high school career, and it was a great stepping stone for me for my professional career. I learned a lot there. We did, you know, 4 musicals a year. choral program was great. We were able to take trips to Europe and all that, all these wonderful places. And I just wanted to, give back to a group of people that really influenced my decision to go into this as a profession. And so Christmas in July is going to be a fundraiser for them, and we're going to incorporate some music from my Christmas album, The Time of Year for Miracles, as well as some Disney songs and some music theater favorites. And it looks to be a great afternoon of music, I think.
Sounds like it too.
Yeah.
And you have special performers coming along.
I do. The girl that sang on my Christmas album, her name is Katie Wilcoxon. She's going to come and do a few songs, one from the album and then two of her own. She's an incredible talent. Her voice can do whatever you want it to do. It really, I'm not a pop singer. I'm more of a classical, music theater singer, and she's more of a pop singer. So the song that Rick wrote, which is called Grateful, it really kind of blends our two styles together really nicely, and then has a really strong finish. And it's a beautiful song that you actually can find on YouTube if you search Grateful and my name and Katie's name, and you can see a little preview of it. And it's also available on iTunes and Amazon.
Good.
Gotta plug it,
That's okay. So, Katie, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do and how you got involved with Ian Gibb.
So I am a worship leader and a session singer from Orlando, Florida. Typically, I'm at home leading worship at my church of about 13,000 called Northland Church. It's my heart and my passion. I love those people. But when I'm not with them, I'm traveling with several other ministries. I've gotten the opportunity, and I've been really blessed to travel the world and do what I love to do and lead worship. And so this has actually been a really fun thing for me to do, to kind of step outside that element and sing with Ian on some stuff that's a totally different world. But also on top of all of this, I do session work, and so this is that's kind of how we met. Actually, was through my session work. I've worked with several large companies, some of the biggest companies in the world. I've been really lucky to do some really, really cool projects, and Ian actually heard about some of those and was familiar with some of my work. Through a mutual friend of ours, Rick McKee, who I'm sure we've talked about
Yes.
a lot. He's brilliant, and I've come to know and love him and trust him as a friend and as a musician. And when he mentioned that he was going to be producing this album for Ian, of course I was excited about the opportunity to be a part of it. So it was not even a second thought. I just jumped right on it. Glad I did.
We're glad you did.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit, something that you know about Ian that maybe somebody else wouldn't know.
Well, I do know that Ian is really into tech and web design. I know he's been doing that kind of on the side, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I don't think many people know about that.
I'm kind of a tech nerd, so it's...
With those videos that you made too.
That's true. I do some video stuff and then some web design for people on tour, and I'm trying to get into that as a business, while I'm not working as an actor. So I think it's a good side job to have, and I think it's also really fun since it it feeds my nerd aspect of my life.
So, in that same vein, what do you know about Katie that people don't know?
Well, she is basically a voice that you've heard before, but you just didn't realize. I mean, she's sung with some of the major companies in the United States and the world, like Disney and DreamWorks and Macy's. And she's also done studio work for Ashley Tisdale and some other recording artists. And so, you probably have heard her sing, you just never realized it, which I think is kind of a cool little marketing tool.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. So now tell us, Katie, about this concert that's coming up tomorrow night and what you're going to be doing.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's actually going to be the first time that we sing Grateful live. Again, we kind of jumped in the studio and did it, which was really fun, and I'm really happy with how that turned
You
out.
only have 4 minutes
and
or something.
the funny thing with us is that we did record this separately, and you would never know from the recording, but
I think that's kind of fun to include.
Yeah.
It's a fun fact.
kind of did the recording a little bit backwards than what you would normally do. So normally he would orchestrate all the music and you would have the full track when you record, but instead he kind of did the opposite, and where I actually sang just to a piano accompaniment to his arrangement, and then he built the song around what I did vocally, and which I thought was kind of interesting, that it gave him an opportunity to do something a little different and really take what I did and kind of run with it. And then at the same time, you know, Katie and I did the duet separately, and so you know, I sang the duet by myself with just a piano track, and then it just turned into this epic song, which I mean, I would expect nothing less from Rick, because he's one of those arrangers and composers that can really do something wonderful with a song. And
usually you have a chance to kind of collaborate and decide who's going where, and I walk in and it's kind of laid out for me, which was kind of nice to just figure it out as we go. But there were definitely some parts where we're like, maybe we should have thought about this before I end up the octave on this part. But I think that's what made it so epic in the end, was the fact that some of it was completely accidental. But I had to go there.
Well, and a funny thing behind that too is that the way that it worked was that Rick sent demo versions to me to approve, and it's funny because he sings all of the demo stuff, and so he sends me this duet, and it's him singing both parts, but he did it in the actual key that Katie sings in, and so like when he pops up to these, I mean, it's a little bit pitch corrected because I don't know if a male can actually sing that high, but like it's hilarious to listen to, but it's also like epic just to listen to him, and for the life of me, I was like, am I singing up that? Because I couldn't tell which part was mine yet, because he hadn't listed out, and so I was like, I have to sing that high? Oh my gosh! when you hear it, it's just you would never guess that we did it separately, and it blows your hair back. It's just, and it was also great because Will Curry also collaborated as the music director on the album, and I think that he and Rick work really well together. You know, Rick composes more for big orchestras and stuff, and Will's more like a cabaret orchestrator, where it's more of a small ensemble piece where a lot of solo lines come out and stuff like that. And so I think that blending the huge orchestrations that Rick can do with some, you know, more intimate styles that Will is used to doing, I think that it was really good to meld the two of those together and come up with a really good arrangement of it. And I think I couldn't have asked for a better team as well. It's just I have really talented friends. I really do, and it's really exciting to see where they go from here too. I think that Will is an incredible conductor, music director, and he's a great violin and violist. I mean, he played every single violin and viola part you hear on the Christmas album.
But we haven't really gotten to hear each other outside the studio, so that alone will be really fun. And I'll also be doing some songs that I normally do on the road. One of them is called Born in Me. It's something I do around Christmas when I'm traveling with several other ministries. And I think we're going to be doing a Disney tune.
Yeah, I was just excited to hear Katie, because I've got to listen to a few of her demo things that she's done with Rick, and you know, she has such a great pop sensibility to the way she sings.
Somebody else is going to be joining you in the concert. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. I met Claire Gehrig doing Music Theater Wichita. I had the great opportunity to get to play Marius there a couple weeks ago. And she's actually a Wichita native. She went to Mays High School, just graduated a couple years ago, and now she attends Wichita State University, where she's pursuing a music theater degree. And she's an incredibly talented, hilarious girl, and I thought that she would be perfect for a comedic Christmas song that we do in the show called Present Face, as well as a Disney duet. She'll be actually playing the role of Mrs. Banks in their production of Mary Poppins this summer. So I thought, you know, letting her do another Disney song or two would kind of help her in her Disney repertoire that she's going to get to do this summer. So I'm looking forward to having her here as well.
So how can people get in touch with you and find out more about your music?
They can actually visit my website. It's at www.katiewilcoxon.com. That'll have some of my music, some videos, and anytime that I'm touring, it'll have the dates and the information about that.
And how about you, Ian? How do they get in touch?
Well, you can also go to my website, which is www.ianpatrickgibb.com, and there you can find information about the concert, about how to purchase tickets, and so on. And then also has information regarding what I do as an actor, my resume, some videos, and then also links to the two albums, where you can also purchase hard copies of the CD or be directed to iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, stuff like that. If you'd like to purchase tickets, you can go to my website, www.ianpatrickgibb.com, or you can purchase them at the door. Tickets are $20 a piece, and included in the ticket price is a copy of my Christmas album, The Time of Year for Miracles, which has Katie Wilcoxon's voice lended beautifully to the duet Grateful. We're also streaming the concert online for people that were unable to attend, and that is on, it's a company called Stage It, so stageit.com, and then if you look for my name, Ian Patrick Gibb, it's broken into 2 acts because they only allow 50 minutes total per stream. But you buy a ticket and we'll be streaming it live, and you only can watch it live. It's sure to be an amazing afternoon of Christmas music, Disney music, and Broadway favorites.